Hey there, Pisces. Welcome in to Great Awakener Ether Realm. My name is Kimberly, and I would like to start off by apologizing for not releasing a video last week. I was very busy at work. So I am going to do a 2-week video starting from the 3rd to the 16th. If you want to go back and see, compare maybe what happened last week, to my notes or to this video, and maybe let me know if it resonates or not. That I think that would be pretty cool. If you don't want to watch the first part of the video, you can totally fast forward to this week. Okay. All right. To start off with, on Monday, February 3rd, the moon is conjunct Chiron in Aries, okay, where it is squaring Mars in Cancer. So the moon rules Cancer and Mars rules Aries. So you have a mutual reception going on here. Even though it's a square, the energies still flow really well when it's a mutual reception. Okay, so excuse me. This is my my 15th video that I've done. So if my voice is raspy, I very much apologize. I got through about 10 minutes of the Capricorn video and didn't realize that my mic died, even though I had just changed it out. So so I apologize if my voice is just like done, okay? But I'm trying. So Aries is your second house of your self-worth, your values, how you earn your money, how you spend your money, and is coming into square Cancer, which is your 5th house of children, romance, and creativity. So there could be something going on about spending money on children, earning money from a creative endeavor, maybe going out to spend some money, maybe going out to eat with a romantic partner, something like that, buying them a gift. So that is Monday the 3rd. And then we have Mercury coming in to trine Jupiter at 11 degrees. So Mercury is in Aquarius, which is your 12th house. You are the natural ruler of the 12th house. So even though it's right beside you, it's still in a comfortable position. You know the 12th house very well, okay? So Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. So even though it's not a mutual reception, you still have kindred energies flowing to Mercury and towards Jupiter in Gemini, okay? Gemini rules your 4th house of home and family. Jupiter is also going to go direct on the 4th, so which is the very next day. So Jupiter has been retrograde for the last 5 months. You may have had something come to a standstill with your home and family. The 4th house also rules the mother as well, okay? So Jupiter is also your traditional ruler before they discovered Neptune on top of that. So Jupiter is still a very energy that you can very much get in line with, okay? So going in from Tuesday to Wednesday, we have a lot of action going on with the moon, okay? Oh, I apologize. I skipped some stuff here. Let's try it. Okay. So Mars and Chiron are at a square. They've been at a square for a pretty long time, okay? But I already kind of went into that. But Chiron is the wounded healer. It's been in Aries since 2018. Probably used to the energy. It really doesn't come out into the open until it gets triggered by something like the moon. or a square aspect. So wounded healer is all about healing your inner wounds. And since it's in your 6th house of values, you could be healing wounds about your self-worth. Okay. And of course, your self-worth ties into how much money you make and how much money you spend as well. Okay. So all that ties into each other. And then we have the moon going into Taurus, which then squares Pluto in Aquarius, your 12th house again. Taurus is your 3rd house of community, short distance travel, neighbors, siblings, people that you see on more of a regular basis. Okay? So you might be doing some healing with maybe, healing in your subconscious with maybe something that happened with a sibling. Okay? Maybe something that happened with a neighbor. Okay? Let's see here. I also skipped Venus enters Aries as well on the 3rd and kind of going into the 4th depending where you are in the world. Okay? So Venus was exalted in your sign of Pisces, and then it moves into Aries where it's in its detriment. Venus does not like being in Aries. Venus rules Libra and also Taurus. Venus is all about love and relationships and balancing the scales, as to where Aries is more about me, I, and how does this affect me. Now that sounds selfish. It really isn't. You have to work on yourself first before you can have a healthy relationship with another person, right? You have to have a healthy relationship with yourself first before you can have a healthy relationship with another person. So it's not exactly selfish, but the energies, Venus just feels grumpy in Aries. But it'll still do great work. It's still a benefactor in astrology, but it's just a little bit grumpy in Aries because it likes to be with other people, and Aries, is a little more of a solitude sign. We'll put it that way. So Aries is your 2nd house again of values and your self-worth. Venus can also come in and help with your healing and your self-worth, especially since Venus also rules Taurus, and Taurus is the natural ruler of the 2nd house, okay, which is your self-worth sector. So it can do some good work for you in your 2nd house of trying to heal your self-worth. Okay? Let's see here. Jupiter goes direct on Tuesday, and then we have Moon square Mercury, and this is where we lead into all of these aspects with the Moon. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and some into Thursday as well, like the energies can be going up and down like a roller coaster. Okay? First off, we have the Moon coming in to square Mercury at 12 degrees. Then it squares the Sun at 16 degrees. Then it sextiles Saturn at 17 degrees. Then it sextiles Mars at 19 degrees. Then it conjuncts Uranus at 23 degrees. And then a little bit later that night, it sextiles Neptune at 28 degrees. So by then, the Moon is exhausted. Emotions are exhausted. Okay, you can possibly feel overwhelmed. Okay, especially since the Moon in Taurus is your community sector, your communications, short distance travel. It's a very active sector, but it's triggering all of these planets in your 12th house, which is your subconscious, your dreams, the things that you keep hidden from the world, the things that are hidden in your subconscious, hidden from you. Okay, all about your psychology. It's all about, resting. It's a very private house. Okay, in my opinion, is the most private house. It's where you want to do all of your resting. You do your dreaming, your daydreaming. Like, how often do you talk to anybody about your daydreams or your dreams? You might talk about this one dream or another, but usually people keep those pretty private, right? So squares to your 12th house can cause a lot of upheaval in your subconscious and in your sleep cycles as well. And then you have a sextile to Mars in Cancer, which is your 5th house of romance, children, and creativity, which is great for you. That's a very good angle for you. It's these squares that are really setting stuff off at the moment, and then you go into these sextiles, okay, which will calm down the energy more. But like I said, it's kind of like a roller coaster with the squares and then sextiles. Okay, so the moon comes in and sextiles Neptune in your sign and kind of calms down the energy. Okay, then the moon moves into Gemini, and where it sextiles Venus and then trines Pluto, again in your 12th house. But with a trine, it's a lot nicer of energy. It's a lot more helpful. Trines are the best aspect that you can get, and then sextiles are the second best, right? So again, your subconscious being triggered by Gemini is your 4th house of family and home, and then also triggering your 2nd house of values. Okay, maybe you might want to be spending some money on some home repairs or a family member. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, which is the natural ruler of the 8th house, which has to do with finances. So maybe you might be wanting to redo your home. Okay, something to that effect. Okay, and maybe you might just be thinking about repairing a relationship with your mom. With the moon being in there, and Pluto with the transformation in your subconscious, and of course your 4th house. I'm just throwing out scenarios. Okay, doesn't mean it has to happen like that. Okay, so, and then of course the moon comes around to also conjunct Jupiter. That happened last Thursday. You may have seen it if you're a stargazer as well. Okay, and then Friday the 7th, Venus sextiles Pluto. Okay, at 2 degrees. Aries again is your 2nd house of values, and Aquarius is your 12th house. Okay, so I'm going to tell this little story like I told everyone else. A lot of people, point at Venus and Mars as the lovers in the zodiac, which they are. But there's also a special relationship that goes on between Venus and Pluto. Now, the story is actually about Pluto and Persephone, but it ties into the story of Venus as well. Okay, so if you're into Greek or Roman mythology, astrology, Western astrology at least, can be a lot more profound if you know the mythology behind it, and also if you also follow astronomy and actually stargaze, you can bring all of those worlds together, and astrology becomes a lot more profound. Okay, the story with Pluto and Persephone, I'm just going to paraphrase real quick. Pluto kidnaps Persephone. Persephone's mother is Demeter, or Ceres, depending on which one you follow. Okay. Demeter goes to Zeus, which is Persephone's father, and petitions to him to get her daughter back. Zeus makes a compromise with Pluto that Persephone will be in the underworld for 6 months and then in the upper world for 6 months. So when Persephone is with Demeter, her mom is very happy. Demeter is the goddess of agriculture. She spreads her seeds. She blooms everything, and everything's beautiful, spring and summer. Okay, and then when Persephone goes into the underworld, that's when Demeter, is sad and she doesn't want to do any of her job, and then everything dies, the fall and winter. So Venus, tying into this story, Venus is going to come up to about Chiron, and then it's going to go into retrograde on March 1st. It's going to retrograde back into Pisces. Now it's going to hit, if you watch my earlier videos, I explained the conjunction between Neptune, Venus, the moon, and the North Node. Once in a lifetime conjunction, it will never happen again in our lifetime. It's going to come back and hit that karmic point again. Now, when the Venus retrogrades for 6 weeks, and when it retrogrades, the sun comes and overtakes Venus. Right now, Venus is known as the evening star because it sets in the western horizon after the sun. And then when the sun comes and overtakes Venus, we can't see Venus at the time, and that is when she goes into the underworld. Then, when she comes out the other side, she is now the morning star. And when she comes out of the underworld, she is now rising before the sun, and she is now the morning star. Okay, so that's why Venus has morning star, evening star, and Lucifer as her names, okay, tying into Pluto here. So a little mythology lesson there makes astrology just a little bit more entertaining, right? So there is still a special relationship that goes on between Venus and Pluto, it's a different relationship than Venus and Mars. But, when these two make aspects, it's still very exciting, So I still consider them the lovers as well. So, let's see. Also going on the 7th on Friday, the moon is back to its tricks again. And so we have the moon trine Mercury at 17 degrees at this point. Okay, 17 degrees trine Mercury. Then it's going to trine the sun at 18 degrees, and then it's going to square Saturn at 18 degrees, and then it's going to sextile Chiron at 19 degrees, and then the sun comes into sextile Chiron at 19 degrees. And then by the end of the day, the moon goes into a square with Neptune. Okay, so again, a lot of emphasis on your 12th house and your first house. Okay, but they're trines. This is your home and this is your 12th house of the subconscious. They're very private houses, which not many people, usually get to see, right? Maybe a select few at the most. So you might be wanting some privacy during this time. This would be Friday the 7th, okay? And then moving into Saturday the 8th, the moon moves into Cancer, okay? And then squares Venus. Again, values. You might, be spending some money on some children, something like that. Again, the story kind of just keeps repeating because, but it's like the same scenario, but with a different perspective. because all of these planets are in from Aquarius to Cancer. So they're just in, they're so squished together that you have all this emphasis on your 12th house, first house. Now, I may have gone through this, but I'm just going to go through it one more time. 12th house, subconscious. First house, the way you project yourself into the world. Second house, your value system. Third house is your community. Fourth house is your home and family and your mother. Fifth house, children, romance, creativity. These subjects are going to be the most highlighted. You know, the only no planets are going to move past Cancer until Mars moves into Leo. I believe that's April 18th. Of course, except for the moon, because the moon, you know, makes its rounds every month. So then we have Mercury sextiling Chiron at 19 degrees. Again, 12th house and value sector. Okay, a lot of healing going on with you. A lot of shadow work. Sunday the 9th, Mercury conjuncts the Sun at 20 degrees. Again, you know, subconscious. Mars comes in to trine Saturn at 18 degrees. Okay. The moon comes in to conjoin the both of those and amplify that energy. Again, Saturn in your first house. The first house is all about the way that you project yourself into the world. Saturn is about setting goals and discipline. Mars and Saturn people don't think that they necessarily mix, but under the right circumstances, they can. If the energy is focused, you can set a lot of goals with Saturn, and then you can use Mars to take action on those goals. Now, Mars is retrograde right now, but later last year, when Mars first went into Cancer, it made a trine to Saturn while it was going forward. Now it's trining it going retrograde, and then February 23rd is going to come out of retrograde, and then it's going to make another trine to Saturn after that. Okay, so third time's a charm. Whatever goal you set, it could be about creativity, children, romance, and the way that you project yourself into the world. Whatever goal that you have set, it is definitely you're going to be able to accomplish it when you have the right timing down. Okay, when Mars starts going forward again, and then when it hits that third trine to Saturn, it's, you know, very good aspect. Okay, let's see here. The moon then, of course, hits this darn square again to Chiron and Mars. That square is going to go on for a little bit because they're such slow-moving planets. You know, you hit the square here, then hit the square here, and when, you know, it's going to hit the square here as well. So, and then you have the moon sextiling Uranus in Taurus, your community sector. So, something going on with community, short distance travel, neighbors, siblings. Okay, we've already established that there could be some healing going on with maybe a sibling or neighbors, somebody in your community. Okay, that doesn't have to be everybody's case. Okay, so then we have the moon trine Neptune, which of course is always great for you. It'd be kind of, you know, maybe some harsh energies, and then turn it into some lighter energies, relaxing energies. Okay, then we have the moon entering Leo, where it opposes Pluto and then trines Venus. Again, setting off this sextile again between Venus and Pluto. It's still very nice, you know. Leo is your sixth house of daily habits, your work schedule, your health routine, anything that you do on a daily basis. It looks like it's going to come to some sort of transformation. I've tried to explain this to other signs, so hopefully I can explain this well here. When you have signs on an axis, it's because they're interlinked, okay? So in this axis, you have your 12th and your 6th house, your subconscious and your daily habits. The reason that you have your daily habits is because of your subconscious, okay? A lot of people don't put those together. So if you want to change your daily habits, you need to change your subconscious. And a lot of your subconscious comes from like childhood, inner child things, how you were brought up. The habits that you do is, everything to do with how you were brought up and how your brain works, right? So your subconscious is more in the 5D, in the ethereal, and then your 6th house is bringing it into the 3D world, right? So if you have, let's say you have a specific way that your mother taught you how to fold laundry, okay? And maybe it's not that, maybe someone else comes and shows you a better way to fold laundry. and trust me, I've seen this argument too many times, just how to fold a towel. You can make the decision to be like, hey, maybe that is a better way. Or you could be stubborn and be like, no, my way is better. Why? Because my mom taught me, So it's about changing your subconscious in why am I being stubborn about this? Okay. And obviously there are a lot more important things going on with, folding laundry. But when you have your subconscious, your 12th house is illuminated like this so much, there's a lot of awakening going on there, a lot of enlightening to possible habits that you have formed that may be self-destructive, that may be getting illuminated now to where you can actually, become aware of them and then change them, right? But you have to be aware of them first to even be able to change them, right? So for you to change your outside world, you have to change your inner world first. And that's why these axes are, two sides of the same coin. Okay? So leading into that, Monday the 10th through 12th, Wednesday the 12th. A lot of this is intertwined, so I'm just going to, Mercury comes in and squares Uranus and Taurus at 23 degrees, and then the sun comes in and makes the same aspect. Then the moon comes in and makes an opposition to the sun, which of course is a full moon at 24 degrees in Leo, your habit sector. Okay? Your 6th house of habits, what you do on a daily basis, your routine. Okay? So something is going to be illuminated, especially if you have natal planets around the 24 degree axis here, okay? Something is going to be illuminated to you about your habits, and you possibly needing to change those habits because they can be self-destructive, right? How do you progress in the world? You first need awareness being brought to what you're doing, okay? And so this is going to illuminate, this full moon is going to illuminate this, okay? So we've got Pluto in Aquarius, which is the ruler of Scorpio, a fixed sign. We have the sun that rules Leo in Aquarius, fixed sign. We have Uranus in Taurus, which is being squared by this full moon, which is the ruler of Aquarius, fixed sign, fixed sign. All of this fixed energy is coming into play here. Fixed energy is all about making decisions and sticking with it. So there is going to be some decision that you're going to make around your daily habits that it's going to be illuminated to you, and you have about a month to really make a decision on how you're going to change that habit, right?